Hello everybody and welcome back to the KMF channel. This is Kay Kritiques, a segment on this channel where we discuss all things South African television. So if that's the type of content that you enjoy, please do make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you are notified every single time a new video drops on the segment. And today we are discussing Adulting Season 1 Episode 6, titled When It Rains, It Pours. And it was definitely pouring for all of these men. Without any further ado, let us get into the video. Starts off with the aftermath of what happened with Natasha. As we saw, she was hijacked and unfortunately lost her life. So now we are at the funeral, and I will reiterate that I just love the brotherhood and the support that they gave to Eric. In his time of need, they were able to be there for him and just support him and be his rock. So Natasha is dead, and we see the mother, Natasha's mother, wanting to take Ncumisa to the villages. Obviously, Eric doesn't have a proper job. He's not stable. His life is a bit dangerous. He can't set a good example for his daughter, and he realizes that. But that was also a wake-up call for him. I feel like him losing his daughter and Natasha was the wake-up call that he needed. I need to get my life together, not only for myself, but also for my daughter, so that she has a stable life and a great father figure who can set an example for her. He realized that this life that I'm living can easily turn on me, because he was most probably one of the most valued members of the team. But as soon as he shows a little bit of anger or a little bit of grief, because obviously they did kill the mother of his child, they turned on him. They beat him up. They bloodied his nose. He was like, yeah, I'm going back to the church. I will start from scratch, even if I have to be a security guard. But I'm doing this and I'm going to live an honest life and set a good example for Ncumisa. And I can't wait to see how that plays out. Him sort of figuring it out, getting his life together, and also being tempted, because the hijacking thing was easy money. You go out on the streets, see a car that you like, get the car, come back, and you get paid. So him maybe struggling with finding employment. Next we have Vuyani. With Vuyani, I feel like the title resonated more with him. When it rains, it pours, and bezimnethela, like it was pouring on Vuyani's side. But he's partially to blame. Now I stand against domestic violence and physical abuse. I am not victim blaming. I'm not saying that Vuyani deserved what happened to him, but he also did play a role in how things turned out. Beth was not only emotionally abusive, but she was also financially abusive. We did see bits of her being violent towards Vuyani, and nobody deserves that. Beth knew that Vuyani was not working. It's not like maybe he was working and then he stopped working and he lost his income. No, she knew what she was signing up for. She was paying him basically for his services. Her still being a married woman who's just separated but not legally divorced from her husband, expects monogamy from Vuyani, expects commitment. She was having an orgy like a week ago with other men and chased him out of the house. But now she expects fidelity from him when they know their agreement. Like, we're having a purely sexual relationship. That's how you benefit and I benefit financially. It baffled me. But I feel like she was using that car to manipulate him. She was basically like, you can't have sex with anybody else other than me, and you can't have any other women in the car. But obviously Vuyani didn't listen. I just want to note this. I think the girl said she was either a first or second year student. And I'm assuming that these men are in their late 20s, early to mid 30s. By mid 30s, I'm capping it at 35. What is a person who's in their late 20s to mid 30s doing with a student, a university student? Like, I don't get it. Maybe it's because his life hasn't progressed past that point of him going to university and dropping out, and then he started doing this thing where he will sleep with wealthy women for money. So I feel like maybe he's stuck in that zone of him still trying to figure his life out. But your friends, the people you hang around with, are business owners, they're engineers, they're old. Like, you guys are parents. Like, literally, Eric has a teenage daughter. So that's telling me it's either he had a child when he was very young, or it's telling me that they are very old. I'm assuming that Ncumisa's around 13, 14. Vuyani, my brother, get it together. So I just needed to point that out. I'm not saying that Vuyani is a predator, because I feel like the girl also knew what time it was. Something didn't sit right with that situation for me. I'm just noting it, even though it wasn't a core issue in the story. So the girl is having a birthday party and invites Vuyani. Vuyani's like, no, I'm gonna throw you the biggest birthday bash you've ever seen. With what? With Bet's money. Nah, Vuyani was literally playing in Bet's face. He was literally playing in Bet's face, because how are you gonna ask me for R500,000 to go host a birthday party for your girlfriend who's your side chick / you're quote unquote cheating on me with that girl, and you're using my money, R500,000, to make that happen in the car that I bought for you in my house? He was playing in Bet's face. That was completely wild to me. Like, the audacity that he had. I'm still flabbergasted. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm flabbergasted. We get to the party. Bonga's there. Kanyesi's there. Just keep a note of it. There's also traveling paradise. Like I'm saying, it was raining and it was pouring for all of these men. Let's carry on with this Vuyani character. Where they're at the party, Beth is calling, like, how's the party going? Did the influencer like the party that you threw for him? Tell me why. The girlfriend's like, baby, get off the phone. Somebody wants to speak to you here. Obviously, Beth here, she goes on her Instagram. She searches the club where the party's being hosted. She sees all the pictures of Vuyani and this girl being all lovey-dovey. She's like, not on my dime and not on my watch. She's wearing her bath gown, rushes to the club. When she gets there, they're singing happy birthday for the girl. Happy birthday to you. Tell me why this girl's like, babe, you didn't tell me you invited your mom. And girlie was doubling down. Like, babe, why is your mom acting so weird? Like, what's going on? Your mom is so rude. I'm like, girl, read the room right now. Like, no, this is a lover's tiff. And they go back home, tries to apologize. He's sitting on the steps, and obviously Beth comes in and starts punching him and hitting him and beating him up. Like, how can you cheat on me with that young HOE? Like, what are you doing? What is this? It's not even that she's upset that he did that. She's upset that he did that to her. Like, me of all people. Almost like I'm above you and you're gonna do this. You're gonna treat me like I'm nothing, like how you are. Because she's been doing the same thing to Vuyani. Kicked him out of the house, had an orgy with not one but two men, as far as we know, because that's how she was caught. It could have been more. It could have been way more on different occasions. We don't know. Vuyani didn't deserve that. But anyways, she tries to apologize, tries to bribe him. And as they're shopping, Vuyani just is like, you know what? You're manipulative, you're abusive, and I don't have to stand for this. I'm done with you. Walks out in his underwear. I'm so glad that Vuyani finally stood up for himself. He might not have a plan. He might not have a backup. At least he has a self-respect. And he chose himself in that moment. That is the biggest act of self-love that you can ever do. When you are in a situation where you are being belittled, you are being abused, manipulated, where you are being put down and you are not safe, you're not secure, and you take back your power. You're like, the power that you think you hold over me, you don't hold that power over me. I'm taking back my power and I'm standing on my own 2 feet. I don't need you. And he walked out of there with his head held high. And I'm sure afterwards he's going to be panicking, like, what did I just do? He might even try to go back to her. But I'm so glad that in that moment he was able to stand up for himself and say, F you, Beth, F you, and I'm done with your SHIT. Now, let's get into Bonga. I was really confused in this episode with Bonga. So they came back from the funeral and Nkanyezi's busy judging like, oh, hijackers are the worst people. Mind you, she doesn't know that Eric is also involved in hijackings and car heists. So she's like, oh, people who hijack people, criminals, they deserve to be locked up. Like, she equated it to an atrocious crime. So in her defense, she doesn't know Eric is also involved in hijacking. But obviously, Bonga takes it to heart. You can literally see his brain malfunctioning. You can literally see him glitching a bit. And then they're supposed to go to this girl's party that Vuyani threw. And she's like, oh, you don't want me around your friends? Why don't you want me to go out? Now, in this, I'm thinking Bonga probably didn't want Kanyezi to go out because he feels like, or a woman who's in a relationship or a woman that I plan to marry, like wife material, quote unquote, wife material, shouldn't be going out to clubs. They should be staying in the house, not doing a lot of things, like just cooking, cleaning, making babies, staying in the house. If she wants to go and work, she can go work. But going out to parties and clubs, where's going out with me, knowing the type of stuff that they do when they're out and they get drunk, for example, Sun City, I think that's why Bonga was worried. Like, I don't want my woman going out in these streets because he knows what happens in these streets. But eventually he relents and they go to the party. When they come back, Kanyezi is busy bashing Vuyani within an inch of his life. Oh, how could he do that? Why is he sleeping around for money? Basically saying the things that Bonga also says to Vuyani that I've been complaining about since the beginning, that Vuyani and Bonga will have a falling out because of Bonga's attitude or Bonga's view towards Vuyani. But I was so happy that Ubonga defended Vuyani in that moment against Kanyezi. Like, that's my friend and I'm not gonna allow you to judge them. Like, it's not our place to judge. He did what he had to do and he's doing what he needs to do and he's living his life. He's not hurting anybody. So I don't understand why you're judging him. Like, why are you gonna be so spoiled and judgmental? Like, don't be a prick. That's my friend. I feel like this couple is gonna give me the most stress. I feel like they are not compatible. I don't think, maybe sexually and physically they align. They're both motivated, but they both have strong characters. And I don't think it's gonna work when both of them are trying to be the dominant or dominate in that relationship, where somebody is gonna need to back down, and both of them are so strong-headed that they both don't want to back down. They don't want to go on a lower level than the other person. I mean, it might work in future, but it would be a huge compromise on one side, and I don't think anybody would be happy with making that type of compromise. And I suspect that it might be that Nkanyezi will need to be the one to make compromises and sacrifices in order to appease Bonga's dominant personality. It's always the woman's job to submit, to back down, to dim herself down in order to allow the man to shine. And I feel like that's going to be an issue because, first of all, it seems like Kanyezi wasn't raised in that way. But also, secondly, I feel like the environment that she's in, where she's in a male-dominated industry and she's thriving, sort of giving off a more masculine energy. I'm not saying that she acts like a man. I'm just saying she's more attuned to her masculine energy. And I feel like that's where they're going to clash. I don't think they're compatible. Yes, we're rooting for them because they're in game. We can already see that. But I don't think they're compatible. And last but not least, Mpho. One thing about me, I will bash Mpho until the end of days. Because why is it that you ask your wife, why aren't we being as sexually intimate as we were when we were younger, before we had kids? We no longer have sex like we used to. And your wife tells you her requirements. Do more in the house. Take more responsibilities with the kids. I'm always tired. I'm always working. I'm always worried. I'm always stressed. because I have to be the one always going. Instead of him sharing her and trying to meet her where she's at or remove some things from her plate, he is still with the side chick, the crazy psycho side chick. He goes to side chick, they at either a hotel or a B&B or a lodge. The girl, while Mpho is sleeping, takes his shirt, puts it on, takes his car keys, gets in his car, drives off to Mpho's house. Zetulele is standing outside like, why are you in my husband's car in his shirt? Who are you? This girl says, I just came here to let you know that I'm effing your husband. Okay, bye. Zetu was standing there fuming. And let me tell you, I probably would have fainted. If a woman is going to come wearing my husband's shirt in his car, rolling up to my house while I'm in the house, and he lied and said he's going to a work conference, and you're going to come and tell me that you're sleeping with my husband, I probably would have fainted right there and then. But yeah, guys, that was season 1, episode 6. When it rains, it pours. Please do let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. What did you think of the episode? Please do make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you are notified every single time I upload a new video. And I'll see you guys in the next one.